Hey everybody, today we're lucky enough to have brought the boss out here and get Jason, otherwise known as the Friar, to take us through some of the reasoning and just general thought process. I guess that's the same thing, but
yeah, kind of design intent.
Yeah, there we go. What led to bringing the Truing Stand to market, and really directly some of the things that will benefit us as the wheel builder or wheel tech when we get our hands on this and start working with it. So, yeah, I guess welcoming you is weird since I'm working in your place, but yeah, welcome.
Yeah, so one of the things that we wanted to do with the Truing Stand was kind of split the gap between some of those workhorse shop stands and then some of the stands that are, so optimized for building wheels that they make it more of a challenge to do repair work. And so things like that were, axle compatibility, axle spacing, tire widths, dealing with fat bike stuff, different wheel sizes. And so we went around doing those with a variety of different ways. So, if we start up top with the hub mount, we've got, hub compatibility down to 70 millimeters internal, and then we can wind that all the way out, in just a couple of seconds. To 220 millimeters, that's still not all the way out. We've got quick release and then the cones for through axle, so 12 to 20 millimeters here. If you still want to run a traditional through axle adapter, you could bolt that in and still have room for it.
Is that plenty of space for the geyser then?
Yeah, when we come down here and start talking about tire compatibility, we've got room for up to a 2.6. If you've got something wider than that, you can use the single arm indicator. And then this guy just pushes up and down. So if you've got, 20-inch wheels, you got your BMX customer coming in, you don't need to work on that. It's literally just that easy. And then just a friction fit down here that you can kind of adjust with if you want a little bit more adaptability there. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think I had to reconsider is, what's really required to properly anchor a wheel into the Truing Stand? Because I know before, in some of the stands I've worked with, I really had to kind of, lack of a better description, lay into it to make sure it stayed in place.
Yeah, so with this, we're really just trying to support the wheel in a stable place. And so contact plus one turn is really all you need. We're not trying to add preload to the wheel, doing something like that. If you have a hub situation that really requires that, go ahead and use a traditional through axle adapter or bolt them in, with a cup and cone typically is a QR hub or a track hub, and those can be bolted into these stainless dropout plates. They're a 1/4 inch thick. They're about the same thickness as a dropout, so it kind of makes compatibility there a little bit easier. So,
and I think one of the points in design and construction is we're working with arms that are coming in parallel to each other the entire time, we'll talk about here in a second, I'm guessing, related to using the wheel, using the stand and assessing and correcting the dishing condition of the wheel. I think while we're up at the contact point for the hub, we'll start moving out towards the rim. You've got a pretty neat little side piece over there working with our indicator for our rotors.
Yeah, so back to that kind of clean slate, a lot of compatibility has kind of established itself in the market. Rotor truing is something that obviously you want to be able to do on your wheel truing stand. So we can, bottom of the slot, we're at 220 mil rotor slice. We can come all the way up to a 140. This guy I think is a 180. And so yeah, we can bring this down here. These guys will also accept a dial indicator. So you can take the same 8 millimeter stem mount indicator that we've got down here for radial or lateral truing, and you can put that up here if you're one of those people that just wants to think about things in a very quantifiable, numbers-based approach.
Cool, very cool. And that's I think the general compatibility of the indicators, I think, is a really, really nice point to highlight on there. So as we move down to the boom, you mentioned it, just purely based on friction for repositioning there. And again, man, just speeding it up, moving through the process a lot easier and a lot more quickly. So I think that's really nice. But as we start to look at making our corrections for either lateral or radial on there, you've opened up a bunch of options for the end user. What suits their building style or their view, I think, better.
Yeah, wheel building customers can be some of the more challenging customers to build product for because they often have very diverse opinions about how they want to conduct their work. And so balancing all of those things can be a bit of a challenge when we're making tools for them. So one of the things that we sought to do was just to add the versatility. So we've got these indicator mounts. This is a stock item included. The one over here would be an optional indicator addition. If you do opt for the indicators, then we ship you one, a redundant one over here, so that you've got one for radial and one for lateral, just to add that versatility. If you're one of those people like Matt has long time been a single point truing person, you can just pop that guy over here and adjust it.
I confuse easily.
Yeah. But one of the things that Matt was alluding to is that the stand kind of self-dishes. As much as we love making and using the Harbor gauge, it's one of our favorite tools to load into the mill and turn that big block of aluminum into a much smaller block. We just really felt that it was kind of redundant and that we could make this be more of a quality control step as opposed to something that you were having to do several times throughout the wheel building process. And so the stand has a common center line. So down here we've got a left and a right hand lead screw, and then we've got some generous slots on the rail ends and the boom mounts so that we can dish the stand to a common center line. And so no matter where you're at in the width of the hub, you're always going to be center. The indicators push-pull on that same center line, and you can work from both sides of the wheel, and you can really cut your wheel build down quite a bit.
Cool.
So.
Cool. And you mentioned the dial indicator option or dial indicator upgrade on there. The two, you mentioned the roller, so we're looking at the roller that's already installed on here for your lateral corrections, and then the dish style or plate style, that's probably best suited for your radial corrections on there. Is there any kind of overarching themes or anything that's moving beyond the hands on the tools that you're really proud of with the design and just design and final product?
Yeah, I mean, precision starts with a good foundation. So we've got this big block of aluminum down here as a base plate, and then just kind of doing things that are on the level of accuracy and quality that customers have grown to expect from us. We definitely looked at some simpler approaches to the rail ends, but kind of bringing those back in-house after anno and pocketing them out gives it a cool look. People like shiny stuff. We're not immune from that. But yeah, it's really just kind of the accuracy and the foundation of that we wanted to build into the stand and have the versatility to work with a wide range of customer preferences. So
I think one of the points, I've worked through a few of the videos related to this already. Look for them on YouTube. Is the fact that the entire mechanism itself is really designed to be run dry, so no lubrication down there. And if you're working in a shop environment and you've got a wheel that's coming off a bike with a tire on there, hopefully it doesn't have DSOT, dog stuff on tire. But kind of any dirt on there, just no reason to clean it out and get lubrication back in there. Just wipe it down or blow it off there with some air, and we've got a system that's really, really easy to maintain overall as well.
Yeah, I mean, our customers make money when they're servicing bikes, not when they're maintaining tools. So the fact that we're able to source these linear rail components and they're all built to be run dry, just cuts down on that maintenance. Just blow them off, wipe them with a rag. No need to lubricate anything down there. So
very cool. Beautiful piece of machinery, and happy to get to work with it here when I stop on by Abbey Bike Tools. So thanks, everybody.